Tag Slayer Gator Bowl Coaches Virtual Press Conference. Today is such an exciting day to be able to introduce both coaches, both of which will not be their first time in Jacksonville. In fact, I'd like to start with the visiting team with Clemson. This will be Clemson's 10th appearance in the Tag Slayer Gator Bowl, and they last played in 2009 versus Nebraska. Coach Swinney, it is great to have you and the Tigers back in Jacksonville, and really excited to have you on the call with us today. So I'd like to turn it over to you for some comments.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us today. And first of all, I just say congratulations to Coach Stoops and Kentucky for another great season. You know, a program that I've had, just like everybody, great admiration for watching, what's happened there under Coach Stoops. I mean, he's done an amazing job, and so congratulations to them. And for us, we're excited. As you said, I think we've been to the Gator Bowl more times than any other bowl. So there's a great tradition and history with Clemson Nation. And then in particular for me personally, my very first bowl game as a coach was 1993. I was a GA at Alabama, and we played North Carolina. That was my first ever bowl game as a coach. And my very first bowl game as a head coach was, in the January of 2009 against Nebraska. So, and haven't been back since. So I'm super excited to be back. It's a great bowl game. Tremendous city. I recruited Duval County. That was my recruiting area when I was an assistant. So I got a lot of familiarity there. And obviously we got three great players with the Jags as well. So just really excited about coming and, for our team to have the opportunity to experience the Tag Slayer Gator Bowl is the culmination of a great finish for us. I mean, I'm really proud of our team and how hard they worked to go from where we were mid-season to the Gator Bowl. As a tremendous accomplishment for our guys, and I'm really thankful for that and excited for them to have this opportunity to have the experience. Happy for our fans, and just really appreciate all that y'all do to put it on. There's so many things that go with the bowl experience, and starts with all the great volunteers and the sponsors and everyone that gives back and gives of their time to make it a great experience for everyone. So on behalf of President Clements and Graham Neff, our AD, we're super excited about coming and having a great week, and know it's going to be a great matchup and a very competitive game.
Thanks, Coach Swinney. I can't wait to have you back in Jacksonville. It's going to be an exciting game. Congratulations on your season. Now, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce the home team and Coach Stoops. Similarly, this is not the first time the Wildcats have been to the Gator Bowl. This will be the Wildcats' third appearance here at the Tag Slayer Gator Bowl. They last played in 2021 versus NC State. Coach Stoops, it's great to have you on. Great to have you back. I'd like to just turn it over to you, and it's going to be great to host you and BBN back in Jacksonville.
Well, thank you. We are honored to be back in Jacksonville. We are looking forward to it. I'd also like to Coach Swinney and Coach Swinney has been the model of consistency. Their program is one of the premier programs and a top program year in and year out. And I think both, really big highs this year and some lows. And we both finished on a positive note. Of course, they won their last four. We had a big victory versus our rival in Louisville. So appreciative of our team and the way we finished through some ups and downs this year. But again, it's a great honor to play Clemson. Coach Swinney does a remarkable job. Thank you to you and your staff. It's been an absolute joy for us to play in that game. We played in it twice. This will be the third time, and we have a remarkable time. It's a beautiful setting. It's a great venue. We also have a couple guys that are playing on the Jags that we're very proud of, and look forward to getting down there and having a very competitive game against a great team and a great program.
Thank you. We're going to accept just a few questions. Trevor Groves, and I'm going to get ahead of you.
Hey, Coach Swinney. Good to see you. You made a couple additions to your staff recently. I think Clemson fans are pretty familiar with Coach Rumph. He's made the rounds in the NFL. Tell us a little bit about him and also Coach Luke. When did Coach Luke get on your radar, and why did you feel a change was necessary there?
Yeah, well, first of all, great appreciation for Coach Key and Coach Austin. Two guys that I've had lifelong relationship with Ski, and certainly Thomas Austin and coaching him, and a captain for me. I mean, just two people that I love. Coach Ski and I, something we talked about actually for a while, and I think he honestly was kind of ready for a change, and we talked about what that looked like, and we both felt like, well, this is probably the best time. And then, just 3 days in the office there and really just kind of evaluating, everything. I just felt like that it was just a change was needed, as I said, in the leadership of the OL room, and not an easy decision. These are very difficult decisions. So, but I'm thankful for, just the relationship that we have and the people that we have, coming in. I mean, this is a great opportunity for Coach Luke and for us. I mean, I've known Matt a long time, and honestly, was not anticipating making a change there. I really did not make that decision until probably Wednesday. I made that decision that that's what was going to happen, and just reached out to Coach Luke and just to kind of kick his tires and see if he was interested in getting back in, and he was ready. So it was good timing for him. He's a great fit. He's got a ton of great experience. He's coached a lot of great players. He's got a great recruiting background as well. And so, really excited about he and Ashley and their two precious boys coming in to join us. And then, as you alluded to, Chris, going back a long time, Chris and I were assistants together. And then when I became the interim and then the head coach, he was on my first staff and did a fantastic job. And so he left here after the 2010 season, went and worked for Coach Saban at Alabama. And he's been in some of the best programs in the country. And then for the last several years, he's been coaching pro football. And, he's actually a guy that had, tried to hire him back in 2017, but the timing wasn't right for him. And then again, he went on to the NFL. And so this was the right time, and he's super excited. So he and Keela, they're just two of the best people that I've ever known. I've great relationships with them for a long time. Both their boys, Chris, their boys, Chris, their oldest, who plays for the Chargers now, grew up with my son. So just a lot of relationships, and he brings a ton of experience, a ton of familiarity with our recruiting footprint. He's from South Carolina, and obviously he knows Clemson. So great addition to both these guys, and we got them out and hitting the ground running already. And, as far as timing, obviously the world has changed from a recruiting standpoint and the early signing period and all those type of things. So the timing of it is we needed to, get this done now so that we could, get these guys on the road and get started and take advantage of some opportunity to create relationships with guys on your current team. And so look forward to getting practice started this weekend and starting that process.
Hey, Dabo. Appreciate the time. I'll ask you, and this can go for Coach Stoops as well. I'm curious if you have any info or updates on players who may not be participating in the bowl game, who would have been, normally a part of your regular playing rotations.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously you got a few guys that are publicly in the portal, so, and it's unfortunate that that's just the way it is. I mean, these guys are trying to, nobody can, they do, but they're not supposed to talk to them until you get in the portal. And so, you got that process and kids trying to decide where they're going to go. So, about those guys. And then, Luke and Trotter, Nate are going pro. So they've decided that they're not going to play. And other than that, I think all hands are on deck. But what is today? Today's Thursday, so we got a team meeting on Sunday. So we'll know a little bit more as we get to that point. But I do know this: we got a team that's super excited about being in the Gator Bowl, and whatever we got, we're going to have great preparation, and we'll be excited to go down there and compete.
Yeah, same thing for me. Ray Davis is a guy that I think he's kind of going back and forth. He's going to go pro, and trying to decide whether it's best for him to play in this game or not. As the same with Coach. I mean, we got some guys in the portal that won't be there, but our team will be equally as excited, and we'll be ready to go. And Coach Swinney, he has a bunch of good players. So any of those other guys that need to sit out. So.
I might have to play corner in this game, but we'll figure it out.
You can do it. I see the way you run on that field.
Christopher Heidel from Edmond.
Hi, Coach Swinney. This is a good question for you. Congratulations on making it to the Gator Bowl. I know you had a tough season. Was this the toughest season you ever coached in your profession? Because I know you had a lot of ups and downs, and you had that little outburst on the radio, and I really appreciate that. That was really, really awesome. But did that actually turn the page for you guys to get everything clicking?
No, this is not the toughest season I've had in my career. I've been fired. We won 3 games. When I was an assistant at Alabama in 2000, that usually doesn't end well. So I've been through some much tougher seasons than being 8-4 and go to the Gator Bowl. That is for dang sure. But we certainly had some disappointment this year. Double overtime loss. 4 trips inside the 10 at Duke, couldn't get a point. So that's tough. That's a little football adversity, but that's the story of this season. And it's the worst season we've had, if you want to call it that, since 2010. We won 6 games, but I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of our staff and our team. I mean, they battled their butts off, and you learn a lot about people when things don't go your way. And these guys really have played their best football, but as far as what turned things around for us, we quit turning the ball over. We've gone 4 games in a row. We've won the turnover margin, and we've been able to win the game. And so that's been kind of the games that we've lost. We've been big time negative in the turnover margin and scored for the other team. And as Coach Stoops will tell you, that usually doesn't end very well for you. So the biggest thing for us is we're not perfect, but we've been able to find a way to win that margin, and that's impacted the scoreboard for us down the stretch and created a little momentum.
And I have a question to Coach Stoops. I know you were with Florida State years ago. Did you play against Coach Swinney, and what does Coach Swinney's teams look like now back then?
Yeah, we always had good games against Clemson, and with Coach Swinney with Clemson, what you think about is very good football teams, as you just alluded to. And here's a man trying to defend himself from going 8-4. That's a pretty good football coach and a pretty good program. They've been unbelievably consistent. But what you think about with Clemson is big, strong guys on the line of scrimmage and very explosive, skilled players. So very well coached, very good teams, and it's always been that way. And that's what I think of when I think of Clemson.
And it moved to John Heidel with the Lexington Herald.
Mark, obviously you told us Monday that some guys in the portal will play in this game, but how does that apply to the quarterback room with the backups kind of all entering the portal? What do you think that'll look like for this game? And can you maybe just speak to the difficulty of keeping depth at that position in this era in particular?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. It's a difficult situation. And, there's been some dialogue between myself and the quarterbacks. I've been on the road the last couple days. That's a little bit of a fluid situation. So I'll know more, John, once I get back on campus.
Hey, Dabo, it's Chapel with the state. Can you give us a sense of how you and the staff are monitoring the portal this cycle, and is there a chance you're more aggressive in who you offer and bring in on that side of things this year as opposed to past years?
Yeah, really nothing's different than it's ever been. You know, we evaluate the portal just like we evaluate anything else. We got a huge staff that is on top of that stuff. And if we feel like that there's a need, you know, then we'll try to fill that need. You know, just like we've signed a couple kids the last couple of years that fit a need for us. We've tried in a couple other spots the last couple of years that on guys that we felt like kind of, you know, would not just be guys coming in here, but really fit the bill, if you will. And we didn't get them, you know, so nothing's really changed for us with the exception of, you know, this year we've got, you know, one position in particular that, you know, we'd like to find a couple of guys, you know, that maybe have multiple years of eligibility. And really that's only because we missed out on some of the top high school kids that we were after. And so, you know, that's probably the main thing that's different. So we'll see how it all plays out. But again, it's a two-way street. You can like people all you want, but they got to like you too. But I guarantee you when it's all said and done, we'll fill our roster out. We don't have a lot of spots open. We really like the guys that are returning, and we think we've got a great recruiting class, you know, that's coming in. And a lot of these guys are mid-years, but there's potentially a couple spots that we probably need to fill, you know, and again, we'll see how it goes.
Gary Smith.
Hey, Coach, just for both coaches, Coach Stoops, you might want to go first on this. With the transfer portal and guys opting out, do the bowl games at this tier, have they become more and more of a preview to next season? And do you tell some of your younger guys who might get playing time because other guys have left that this is a great opportunity for them?
I think part of that is a fair assessment. You definitely want to see some of your younger guys. It's definitely a time when all of us programs use it for some development of some young guys that maybe didn't get on the field as much as they'd like here this fall. So the practices as we lead up to the game, you'd like to see them make some growth. And in the game, I'd like to see them participate as well. And at times you're going to need them. I think, you know, they made a wise decision letting the redshirt guys play in these bowl games. It helps. There's certainly some talented players on both rosters that we may need.
Yeah, and I would just say, you know, first of all, I think it's a great opportunity for your football team when you have a chance to play a game, and you have a chance to have time to develop. And so, you know, Coach Stoops and I we'll spend this time, you know, like we're not just going to get ready for Kentucky. We're going to work on Clemson. You know, we're gonna, you know, we'll have a JV, if you will, and we'll take some time to really develop some of these guys. You develop your team for next year, but also, you know, you want to go try to win the game. And I think it's a great opportunity for your veteran players. It's a great opportunity for them, whether they're going pro or coming back. These, you know, some of the, I mean, CJ Spiller, I say it to this day. I mean, I don't think he goes top 10 without being MVP of that Music City Bowl in 2009. I really don't. In a game that was 20 degrees, coldest game ever. And he was MVP of the game. And so I think it's a great opportunity for guys that are going pro, seniors, to play. And again, we're in a day and age where, you know, there's different opinions on that, and it is what it is. You can respect difference of opinions, but it's also great that they, you know, finally did something with some common sense, and they allowed us to, you know, be able to play whoever on your roster and it not count against their red shirt, because, you know, rosters are not the same because of the portal, because of, you know, a trend of guys not playing. Man, you can get in a bad spot pretty quick. So to be able to have guys that aren't going to waste a year and to be able to be free to play in the postseason is a great thing. So it's a great opportunity to, you know, get some of these young guys opportunity to practice, to scrimmage, to be able to be game ready. That all is good. But end of the day, you know, you want to do everything you can to try to win the game.
final question, David Hood.
Hey, this is for both coaches, and I guess we could start with Coach Stoops. Kind of going back to, one of the items we've touched on is in this new era of NIL and the transfer portal. You guys have got a national signing day on December the 20th. You've got a bowl game to prepare for. You're trying to hold together a recruiting class and maybe work on next year's recruiting class. How difficult is it in this day and time to maybe now also kind of have to recruit your own roster? Or do you spend time doing that with, as it's been alluded to, so much tampering going on, players being offered, before they're even in the portal? Do you even spend time trying to keep guys in the fold?
Oh, absolutely. I think both Coach Swinney and I would agree that one of the other good rule change they've made in the last couple of years is making it dead after the last game, so we could get our feet on the ground and talk to your team first before we hit high school recruiting or portal recruiting. We have meetings with every one of our players, and so yes, that was immediately following our Louisville game. That Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was constantly meeting with our players and just getting a pulse where everybody was at. I think that's extremely important. I think there's a fine balancing act once we get into it. Both Coach Swinney and I were talking here prior to the session beginning. We're both sitting in FBOs. So we're sitting in these little cubicles at FBOs in between visits. I already had one this morning, and I'm going one here this afternoon, and I have one tonight. So I think both of us are running around the country chasing our tails, trying to keep our team intact, trying to get ready for this big bowl game that we're going to play, and trying to recruit some newcomers. So to say there's a few things going on is an understatement.
Yeah, ditto to all of that. He's dead on, and that is a good change. They did give us for the first time, because normally we would all have been going on the road recruiting. So to be able to have a little bit of time for guys, it's not just the portal. It's some guys thinking about going pro, and they want good feedback there. And then some guys that are graduating and, ready to move on, whatever it is. So just that time where, because normally those things are still happening, but we're on the road and it's a phone and you're in a house, and it's really crazy. So that was nice this year to be able to have a little window to kind of get a feel for, where everybody is on your team. And, but it is crazy. I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's a couple things that I think, should change. Obviously, I mean, first of all, I think it's sad what's going on with high school recruiting. Honestly, there's a lot of high school kids that aren't getting signed anymore, and that's a really sad thing. And there's a lot of high school kids that have been committed a long time that now all of a sudden the portal comes open and they're being pushed to the side, or told, hey, you might want to look around. So I honestly wish they would put the signing period maybe August 1 or something, just to where these kids could sign and be done with it. Free them up, though, if the head coach left or is fired. I think they need an out there, but I think that's one thing. And it's not the portal. Portal's not the problem. NIL's not the problem. The problem is tampering. That's the problem. That is the problem in college football, and that could be fixed easily too if they would let football people fix it. But we don't usually get a vote in that. But that's the biggest challenge that we're dealing with, is that aspect of it.
Agree.
Great, we'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, coaches, again, I know you're extremely busy. We appreciate your time. And to close things, I want to just thank Dana Zefting with Tax Slayer. They're extended 5 years with our bowl, which, we're nearing a 20-year relationship with them as our title sponsor. So I know they're excited to have you down here, and you'll see Tax Slayer have a very strong presence here. But again, in closing, we just appreciate everyone's time and look forward to seeing everyone here in Jacksonville very soon.